Welcome to the One Question Leadership Podcast. This is Will Baggett with Executive Image, the industry leader in professional presence training, committed to helping you look the part and act the part to become the part. Visit us on the web at www.execimage.org.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown, and welcome to the One Question Leadership Podcast, where we highlight executive and organizational leadership. Our guest today is Kirby Hocutt. Kirby is the Director of Athletics at Texas Tech. Greetings, Kirby. Thanks for joining us today.
You bet. Greetings, Ty. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, I am excited to have you on. Of course, you've been at Texas Tech since 2011, but you have been in an AD chair, that leadership role, since 2005, and in the industry for almost 30 years, including your time as a student athlete, which is commendable. For people who know that you either have served or you serve on a number of committees which help shape college athletics as we know it. So that's what makes me excited that I am talking to a veteran leader who is very influential in the profession.
When you say 30 years, Ty, it makes me pause and think, boy, those 30 years have gone fast. But at the same time, it's been a lot of fun. Just so blessed to be involved in this profession and everything that it stands for.
What I want to talk to you about is young professionals. But I think that'll be the underlying tone of what we talk about. Many young professionals change jobs often, and there may be many reasons why they change jobs. But specifically for this conversation, I want to talk about one specific reason, is because they're leaving the position because the person they report to is probably lacking some type of leadership skills, right? And that's kind of a culture thing. These people may not feel like their input is heard. They may not feel like they're receiving valuable feedback from the person who they report to, or they may not feel like they are receiving the resources they need to do their job at a high level, or the resources they need to set their career up for the future. And I think it ties to that mid-level management and a lack of training with regard to mid-level management. And as we know, somebody could be very well at their job and they get a promotion and then they find themselves in a leadership role. And the cultures that do it well teach that person how to be a leader when they, prior to them becoming in that mid-level management role. And then while they're in it, there are continuous lessons of leadership development. I think you do that well there, which is why I want to have you here on the podcast. And the first question I have for you is, what processes do you have in place to ensure that mid-level management are doing more than just managing up, making sure them and their department look good to you, but they also understand what it means to successfully lead those that report to them?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ty, and it's a deep question when you talk about organizational structure, when you talk about our game plan, when you talk about, my teammates. That's who I get to work alongside with each and every day. And I think, as I came up in the profession, the two mentors I looked to, one was Chuck Ninus, who my first internship was underneath. And then, Joe Castiglione at Oklahoma. Joe took me under his umbrella, his wing, as I worked my way up through mid-management and became a senior leader with him at Oklahoma. So I was fortunate to have mentors and leaders who helped me, I think, put some very fundamental, put a strong foundation down that continues to shape my leadership style. And I think it always has to start with the why. Why do we do what we do? And if we ever lose sight of that, then shame on us. And that why is our student athletes. And if it's entry level, if it's mid management, if it's athletic director chair, we've got to know that we're here to educate young people and to develop their leadership skills, so that when life after college is over, that they're going to be able to lean back on their experiences as a student athlete and their degree, their education in the classroom, and be prepared to become successful citizens in whatever field they choose. So, you've got to, I believe, develop a culture that provides inclusive leadership, and inclusive leadership meaning that everybody understands the role that they play. And for me, it's much like when I played college football at Kansas State. I played middle linebacker, and I, as a middle linebacker, was only going to be as good as my defensive line in front of me and the secondary behind me. We all had a job to play, and to me, inclusive leadership is just that. Everybody in this department, if you're a young professional, if you're a mid-management professional, or you're a leadership professional, we all have a role to play, and that's inclusive leadership. And the why is the student athletes, and we've got to invest into each other. So here at Texas Tech, we do a number of things, all built under our Leadership Academy umbrella. It's the Leadership Academy was started about 5 years ago, and it was focused on building leadership skills with our student athletes, allowing our student athletes to learn how to see and lead themselves, and then secondly, see and lead others, and then thirdly, see and lead teams, and those are skills they're going to take with them. And we try to do the same thing with our staff members, and we do it through certain programming. We have a mentor initiative program annually where a young professional, a mid-management professional, is able to partner with an executive leadership team member, and over the course of the year, there are monthly activities and meetings where we get to know each other better, and you get to invest in our people and build future leaders from within our own athletics department. A lot of times the person you're paired with is from a different unit, has different backgrounds than you, so it allows us to enhance that culture. And we're able to bring in guest speakers and visitors that help us continue to learn as young professionals. This year we brought in Lauren Williams, a 4-time Olympian. We brought in Inky Johnson. So these are just opportunities for us to grow. And then we also have a very active young professionals program, and this allows young professionals within our athletic department to grow and to increase functionality and value within their current and future roles and here in Texas Tech athletics, and then also to make sure that they discover their core values and their strengths and their personality traits that can contribute to their teams back in their units that they're involved with here at Texas Tech. So there's a number of programs that we have set in place, but at the end of the day, we have 4 guiding principles here at Texas Tech, and one of them is success is built through positive relationships, and that's from within and external to our department. And you just try to, we're teammates. What we do each and every day is work together to provide the very best student athlete experience. Getting back to the why is our student athletes. So that's the culture we try to foster, and as you know, Ty, and we've talked about cultures. It's ever changing on how you think and you treat each other and how you communicate. So we just try to communicate as often and as much as we can. And we're not perfect at it, but we keep trying to build that culture every day.
Right. And it sounds like what you've done there in the last 5 years, and I imagine before there was probably some lead up to this, but you made it an intentional effort to develop the leaders, right? As opposed to organically somebody gets into a position and you hope they lead well. You put intention behind it, which let's make sure our people are doing the best we can, because it ties back to making the best experience for your student athletes.
Absolutely. We try to be purposeful in everything that we do, and we talk about we want to give our student athletes an incremental advantage, how to be successful during their time at Texas Tech, but also give them that incremental advantage to preparing themselves for success in life after college. And we want to do the same thing for our teammates, our athletic department staff members. We want to give them that incremental advantage that, when you have an opportunity to go to another athletics department or somewhere within the college industry after Texas Tech, that you really have to pause and think about it, because the culture and those opportunities to grow here are such. And I just think it's, people want to be involved. They want their voices heard, and there's opportunities throughout our organization to do that for young professionals. We have a strategic plan called the Strategy to Win. We have 5 pillars, and we have multiple subcommittees that are open to everybody in this department to lead, because I want to make sure, our game plan, our strategic plan, the Strategy to Win, it's not my plan, it's our plan. And so over the course of the fall at our monthly athletic department meetings, we've been focusing on our 4 guiding principles. And we've had, we've used a video series to do that. And it's not told through Kirby Hocutt's voice. It's told through all of the voices within this athletics department, what these guiding principles mean to them. So I just think that inclusiveness for leadership and communication, and to be a part of our strategic plan all the way down to our day-to-day activities is crucial to allow people to grow. And we want our team members to grow, right? You want them to achieve their aspirations. And so I want to help everybody in this athletic department achieve their career aspirations, whatever those may be.
Right. And looking at your stops as athletics director, I would imagine that, well, first off, you work for a couple elephants in their profession. Chuck Nine has helped shape what is now Football Bowl subdivision in college athletics, in the years when he was leading that College Football Association. And of course, Joe Castiglione has put out a number of leaders during his tenure. But your stops as athletics director, I wonder, when you're thinking about moving somebody to a mid-level management position, either bringing somebody in or elevating somebody on staff, I guess the leadership traits have to already be there. I mean, if somebody is good at what they do, but they haven't had time to practice leadership, how do you manage that in terms of making those type of decisions of putting somebody in a mid-level management position?
Yeah, I think you look for somebody who wants that opportunity, somebody who's going to ask for that opportunity. In interview settings, when you're looking at possible positions and who to select, you want somebody that's going to bring the energy. More so than what you were able to accomplish at your previous institution or school. That's important because you want to separate yourself, but you want somebody that's going to bring that energy and that fire and is going to ask for the job. You want a teammate who's excited to be there, lining up beside you each and every day. And so the leadership abilities that's in the past, you want somebody who's been associated with successful programs and have done good work, but you also want that hunger from somebody who's desiring to learn and to lead and to be a part of your organization.
Right. I imagine it helps when you have an internal academy where for sure that they have been on the path of leadership development because they're doing a part of some of the things you put in place there in your own organization.
Yeah, and you hope that through that leadership academy and that leadership development curriculum that when opportunities are available, there are qualified individuals from within our athletic department to consider as well. So we believe at Texas Tech that the Leadership Academy is one of those distinguishing programs that can separate us and elevate us over others. And yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Ty, because I do think it's a great advantage that continues to help us in numerous ways.
So there's a term that I use out there, and I think it ties to people wanting to change jobs often, right? People trying to get away from leaders. The people don't leave jobs, they leave leaders, right? I call it responsive feedback. And responsive feedback is the idea that people want to know that their input is heard and potentially useful, which in turn helps them embrace the culture of the organization. Do you have a method of encouraging input from your staff? And if you do, how is this method implemented throughout the staff, like from the entry level, the GAs, all the way through mid-level management up to your senior staff and those type of things, the input and collaboration?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what we talked about a little earlier, Ty, because I think it's important. Let's don't complicate it too much. Let's stay focused on the fundamentals, and the fundamentals is everybody wants to be involved. I mean, you want what your role and responsibility is every day to impact the bigger picture of Texas Tech athletics, to know you're contributing to our basketball team going to the national championship game or our baseball team going to Omaha, et cetera. And for our basketball team to play against Virginia in the national championship game, or baseball to get to Omaha, those coaches have a game plan. It doesn't just happen. You have a plan, and that's why I think we as an athletics department have to have a strategic plan as to how we're going to provide this world-class experience that we talk about. And for us, that's the strategy to win. And there are 5 pillars to that strategic plan, and we have multiple subcommittees with each of those pillars that we allow anybody in this department to say, hey, I want to participate. I want to be a part of this group. I want to be a part of this group. So those are ways It doesn't matter if you're entry level, you've only been with us for 1 to 3 years, or you've been here, 5 to 10 years and you're in the mid-management role, or you're in a leadership role or a coaching role, to say, hey, the brand experience is something that I really want to be a part of. I want to talk about how we build our brand, or I want to talk about the fan, the consumer, and the student athlete experience. I want to be a part of that conversation. So for me, it's the opportunity to be involved in something as critical and as important as our strategy to win, which is our strategic plan. And I look for, great diversity of voices from the level of experience to be involved in those committees.
Right. And so it's basically, you're saying it's built in to how you operate. Like
Yeah,
encouragement for feedback is built in. Like
it's built in. I like the way you phrase that. It is absolutely built in. Yeah.
Which is important, Kirby. I think this is a very informational conversation for a lot of people out there who want to be leaders, or even current leaders. I don't know how influential the podcast is, but I think a lot of people listen to hear voices like yours talking about how you do things. And I really appreciate you joining us here on One Question.
Well, Ty, I appreciate all you do for athletics. I tell you, your travels and the way you have volunteered, and you've helped so many organizations, and you continue to lead and educate and help people grow, is I admire it. Great respect for you, and just appreciate all you do for our profession.
Well, thank you very much, Kirby. That was Kirby Hocutt. He's the Director of Athletics at Texas Tech. And of course, this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today. This episode of the One Question Leadership Podcast is produced by Spades Media Group, solving problems using creative leadership.